There comes a moment in almost every person's life when the distractions stop working. The endless scrolling becomes empty. The achievements lose their excitement. Even the people around you cannot fill the strange silence growing inside your heart. You wake up one morning and realize that the life you've carefully built no longer feels like your own. Most people panic when this happens. They assume something is broken. They look for another job, another relationship, another city, another goal. They believe the answer must exist somewhere outside themselves. Carl Jung believed the opposite. He believed these moments were not signs that life was falling apart. They were invitations to begin the most important journey a person could ever take. The journey inward. But that journey is frightening because the first thing we meet is not peace. It is our shadow. Imagine walking through an old house that has belonged to your family for generations. The front rooms are clean and beautifully decorated. They are the rooms you proudly show to guests. But there is another door at the end of a dark hallway. It has remained locked for years. Everyone knows it exists. No one wants to open it. You tell yourself there is nothing important inside. Maybe some old furniture, maybe forgotten memories. Yet every night you hear quiet footsteps behind the door. This is how the shadow works. The more we avoid it, the more it reminds us that it is still there. Jung discovered that every emotion we refuse to acknowledge continues to live within us. It doesn't disappear simply because we pretend it doesn't exist. Think about anger. Many people grow up believing anger is dangerous. They learn to smile even when they feel hurt. They apologize when they should speak. They stay silent to avoid conflict. Years later, they wonder why they suddenly explode over something small. It was never about the spilled coffee. It was never about the traffic. It was never about the forgotten phone call. It was years of ignored emotion demanding to be heard. The same is true for sadness. Some people were taught that crying is weakness, so they become experts at pretending everything is fine. They laugh, they work, they keep moving, but inside the pain waits patiently. One day it appears as exhaustion, another day it appears as anxiety, another day it appears as a feeling of emptiness that no amount of success can remove. The shadow speaks many languages. Sometimes it speaks through fear, sometimes through jealousy, sometimes through loneliness, sometimes through dreams we cannot understand. Jung paid close attention to dreams because he believed they revealed conversations taking place deep within the unconscious mind. He did not see dreams as random images. He believed they were messages, not magical predictions, not supernatural warnings, but honest reflections of parts of ourselves we ignored during the day. Imagine spending every waking hour pretending to be confident while secretly feeling afraid. Your conscious mind hides the fear. Your unconscious mind refuses to. Eventually that fear finds another way to speak, perhaps through a dream, perhaps through anxiety before an important meeting, perhaps through constant self-doubt. The unconscious is patient. It will keep sending messages until we finally listen. This is why Jung encouraged people to become curious instead of judgmental. Instead of asking, "Why am I like this?" ask, "What part of me is trying to be seen?" That single question changes everything, because curiosity creates understanding. Judgment creates more hiding. Modern life encourages us to judge ourselves constantly. We compare our appearance, our income, our relationships, our followers, our accomplishments. Every day we are surrounded by carefully edited versions of other people's lives. We begin believing everyone else has figured life out except us. But what we see is rarely the whole truth. Behind every perfect photograph is a human being carrying invisible fears. Behind every confident smile may be someone terrified of rejection. Behind every success story may be years of failure that no one talks about. Jung understood something that social media often makes us forget. Every human being carries light and darkness together. No one is entirely good. No one is entirely bad. We are all a mixture of courage and fear, kindness and selfishness, confidence and insecurity, strength and vulnerability. Accepting this does not make us weaker. It makes us real. One of Jung's deepest insights was that the qualities we admire most in others often reveal the person we are capable of becoming. At the same time, the qualities we strongly reject may reveal parts of ourselves we have buried. Think about someone who irritates you for being confident. Could it be that you have hidden your own confidence because you feared being criticized? Think about someone whose honesty makes you uncomfortable. Could it be because you have become so used to wearing masks that authenticity feels threatening? This doesn't mean every criticism is a projection. Sometimes people truly behave badly. But Jung invited us to pause before reacting. He believed every strong emotional reaction deserved our attention, not because the other person was always right, but because our reaction could teach us something about ourselves. This is one of the hardest lessons in life. It is much easier to analyze other people than to understand ourselves. We notice every flaw in those around us, yet we remain strangers to our own hearts. Jung spent years confronting this reality within himself. After separating from Freud, he entered one of the darkest periods of his life. He experienced vivid visions, powerful dreams, and intense emotional struggles. Rather than running away, he recorded them. He drew symbols. He wrote down conversations with figures that appeared in his imagination. He observed his inner world with extraordinary honesty. These personal explorations later became known through the work collected in the Red Book. To many people it looked strange. Some even questioned his sanity. But Jung believed that ignoring the unconscious was far more dangerous than exploring it. His courage was not the absence of fear, it was the willingness to face it. That lesson remains powerful today. Most people think courage means appearing fearless. Jung suggested something much deeper. Real courage is sitting quietly with your own thoughts without trying to escape. It is admitting your mistakes without destroying your self-worth. It is recognizing your jealousy without letting it become bitterness. It is acknowledging your fear without allowing it to make every decision for you. This is what it means to integrate the shadow. Not to eliminate it, not to defeat it, but to understand it. Imagine two wolves pulling in opposite directions. One represents everything you proudly show the world. The other carries everything you've hidden. Many people spend their lives trying to kill the second wolf. Jung would probably suggest another path. Invite both wolves to walk beside you, because the hidden wolf also carries instinct, passion, creativity, strength, the very qualities you've been searching for. This explains why some of the most creative people often struggle deeply before producing their greatest work. Art does not come only from happiness. Wisdom does not grow only from comfort. Some of humanity's greatest music, literature, and discoveries emerged from people who dared to explore their inner darkness instead of pretending it didn't exist. The same is true in ordinary life. A person who has experienced heartbreak often develops greater compassion. Someone who has faced failure may become wiser than someone who has only known success. A person who has walked through loneliness often recognizes the pain hidden behind another person's smile. Pain does not automatically create wisdom, but honestly facing pain often does. That is the difference. Our culture frequently encourages quick fixes. Feel sad, distract yourself. Feel anxious, stay busy. Feel lonely, find another source of entertainment. These strategies may provide temporary relief, but Jung believed lasting transformation requires something different. Presence, stillness, attention, the willingness to remain with uncomfortable emotions long enough to understand what they are trying to teach. Imagine standing beside a river after a storm. The water is muddy. You cannot see the bottom. If you jump in and keep stirring the water, it remains cloudy. But if you sit quietly and wait, the mud slowly settles. Eventually the water becomes clear. Your mind works in much the same way. Constant distraction keeps the water disturbed. Silence allows clarity to return. This is why moments of solitude are so important. Not isolation born from fear, but chosen solitude. Time away from noise. Time away from endless opinions. Time away from proving yourself. In that silence, something remarkable begins to happen. You start hearing your own voice instead of everyone else's. You remember dreams you abandoned years ago. You notice values that truly matter to you. You begin separating your authentic desires from the expectations placed upon you by family, society, or fear. This process is slow. There are no shortcuts. Jung believed becoming your true self is the work of a lifetime. Each experience reveals another layer. Each challenge uncovers another hidden truth. Each relationship acts as a mirror reflecting both your wounds and your strengths. Perhaps that is why life keeps bringing us similar lessons until we finally understand them. Not as punishment, but as an opportunity to grow. The next time you find yourself overwhelmed by anxiety, anger, or disappointment, resist the urge to immediately escape. Pause, take a breath. Ask yourself, what part of me is asking to be understood? You may not receive the answer immediately, but the question itself opens a door, and sometimes opening the door is the beginning of healing. Because the shadow has never wanted to destroy you, it has only wanted to be acknowledged. The moment you stop running from it, you may discover that the darkness you feared was never empty at all. It was quietly protecting forgotten pieces of your courage, your creativity, your compassion, and your true identity. waiting patiently for the day you would finally be ready to bring them into the light.